Hey guys, I'm Brian and I'm back with the Summit TX25 tractor, and so far I've got almost 24 hours on this thing, and so I thought I'd give you some thoughts about what I'm thinking so far of this tractor. Hey guys, I'm Brian and I'm back with the Summit TX25 tractor, and I've got almost 24 hours on this tractor now. So I thought I'd give you some first impressions of what I'm thinking about this tractor. So if you guys have been watching my videos, you've seen some of the stuff that I've been doing with this tractor so far, some stump grinding, some gravel work with the front, even some stuff with the pallet forks and the artillery grapple that I have. So I've done a little bit of everything so far. One thing I haven't done yet is the brush hogging, which hopefully I'll be getting to here pretty soon since it's getting nicer out. But I thought I'd give you a few things that I've noticed lately. I mean, first off, I actually had somebody comment on one of my first videos, and it was projects with JW. He actually commented saying I might actually notice better fuel economy with this tractor over my John Deere 2025R. And when he said that, I actually did realize that I hadn't filled up the tractor in a while. So I guess this tractor actually gets up to maximum RPM quicker than the John Deere does. And so this actually gets better gas mileage than my John Deere. So that is one nice thing with, you know, diesel being a little bit more expensive, but then again, I don't go through a whole lot. So that was one advantage that I've noticed just over the past 20 hours, is just the amount of times I have to fill up. One of the other things I've noticed is, first off, I didn't know if I was gonna like the emergency brake being right here. The John Deere actually had it right here, and a lot of the times I would find out I'd get on the tractor and start it up, and then half the time I'd forget that the brake was even on. And so on this one, it is right below, and I've actually found out that I actually like that better. So I've just gotten into the routine. I get on, I push the brake down, and then I just grab the handle and put it in gear. So I actually like that a lot better. And it actually shows up on my dashboard when the brake is actually on, which my John Deere didn't. But so far this tractor has performed amazing. I haven't had any big problems with it yet. So far it's done everything I need to do, and I felt like it's handled everything. One thing I wasn't too sure about is how it was going to handle the 3-point stump grinder, but it handled it great. Very little jumping. You know, there's a few things that I can do to help keep that back end from moving a little bit more, and some people gave me some great pointers with the different types of quick hitches and things you could get to actually help with that movement in the back. But everything I've done so far, I've been happy. It's just been, you know, a lot of getting used to the self-leveling loader, which if you got one of these tractors and it was your first time, you probably wouldn't even notice it. But coming from a non-self-leveling loader to this has been quite a big adjustment. And I did have somebody comment wanting to know if you could switch that option on and off. I wish you could, but you can't. If you have a self-leveling loader, that's what you have. But there are a few things that I've actually had some, not really problems with, but sort of broken. And first off is the mirror. I actually broke this mirror probably about 15 hours in. I actually really like the mirrors because when I had the brush hog on or something and I was backing up, I could easily see without having to turn around, and so these actually came in pretty handy. But I was just around the pond and I was pulling some brush out, and I had one small limb that came over and hit the back of it. I didn't even think it was that hard, but then I looked and saw my mirror was broken. So that is broken, but I mean, you can still see it's a little shattered. But I'm still trying to decide if I want to take these on or off. You can take them off, it's pretty easy. Just there's a nut on each side of the hood. Just loosen those up and you can pull those right out. But one other thing I've sort of noticed is, you know, when you get going and you have a lot of weight on the front or the back, if you turn too quick, I mean, just like my John Deere, the stability. This one has more stability just because it's got the loaded tires. But my John Deere, I actually went and put wheel spacers on it, 2.5-inch wheel spacers. And so that's one thing that I really like if I could get for this. I don't know if they're going to start selling it or another company may come out with ones that are compatible with this, but I really would like to get some wheel spacers that would just widen out the tires a little bit, so even around my pond where it dips down a little bit, it'll be a little bit more stable, not as wobbly. So that's one thing that I would like to see hopefully in the future, and if they come out with that, I probably will invest in, is getting some of those wheel spacers. So the one other thing was sort of, I don't know if it's just my tractor or if this is all of them, but this tractor, when I first got it, even now, it seems like when I take my foot all the way off the forward pedal, it will still keep creeping forward. So that's one thing I do need to look into. I don't know if it's just a couple nuts that I need to loosen up and adjust a tensioner or something, so then the tractor won't be creeping. So that's one thing I do need to look into to get that fixed. And really the only other thing that I've had a minor problem with is, if you can see right down here, there's this hood button, so it basically pulls out so you can pop the hood up, and I actually almost completely broke that off, and I didn't even realize it when it happened, but it was just later on when I was walking around the tractor, that thing was completely almost all the way down, and I guess when I was moving brush, I must have had something come up and hit that, and it just bent that piece down, which that piece isn't very thick at all, so luckily it didn't snap off, but it's flimsy enough where I got a good hold of it and just sort of bent it back in position. So that's luckily hasn't broken. So, but really the only thing, I actually did have a problem about a week ago, and I actually just got the part put on today, but I actually was out washing my tractor and I just looked down right before I started washing it and I noticed some dripping. And so I opened up the hood, and right down on in here I found that there was a nut basically that went into the hydraulic pump, that it was leaking around that gasket. And so I actually went and I called Summit Tractor, and so that was my first experience calling them, and actually it went really well. I called them and had to hit a couple different menu options, but then I got connected to a guy right away, and so I just wanted to make sure if I tightened anything, nothing, that was okay. So he was on the phone and I was sitting there tightening stuff, and I tightened it as much as I could, and it was still leaking around that. And so on the inside of here, it's like when they put the parts together, they end up going over it with paint, and so they painted everything on, so some of that paint was trying to break that paint loose, and then it was sort of getting caught in there. And so he said, well, I'll just send you a part, or if you want somebody else to try to put it on. And that's when I was really impressed, as I got on to actually see where the closest place was for repair. And last time I had gotten on their app, it was actually probably about an hour and a half to an hour and 15 minutes away down in Arkansas that I would have to take this tractor for repair. And when I got on last week, I actually noticed that they actually added a new location that is like 30 minutes from me. So that's really impressive to me, is that they're still expanding their base to be able to, you know, accommodate some of us that don't want to drive 2 hours to get their tractor repaired. But luckily, this part was small enough. He told me, you know, if I felt confident enough in my ability to actually do this, he would actually send me the part and I could put it on. And if I couldn't get it on by myself, he could actually FaceTime me in and show me how to do it and talk me through it. So that option is really nice, because I'm not having to take it to the tractor place and then wait on them to work around their schedule. So the next day he texts me and he's like, the part is shipped out. Well, the next day after that, it showed up on the front porch, which I guess it actually comes from Arkansas, the part does. So that was really nice, is that it's basically one night to me here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. So got that in, got that part put on, and everything was all good. No leaks now. But I just basically wanted to give you guys an update too, to let you know how so far their customer service, anything I've done with them, has been stellar. They've been amazing to work with, haven't gave me a hassle or anything. And so yeah, got that part sent out, I got it put on, and now it's working like new. So just wanted to give you guys a couple things today and let you know how it's going so far with the TX25. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them on there, or if you have a TX25 and have some comments too about what you're experiencing, let me know. And so thank you guys for joining me today, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.